Hello, friends. Hello, Poppet. Good morning. Happy Thursday. Let me pull up the chat here. Today, we're going to talk about how to focus on one thing in your blog so you can make some money, which is easier said than done, right? Because there are lots of shiny objects everywhere and squirrels to chase. And sometimes we commit to doing one thing in our blog for a quarter and we see that somebody else is crushing it doing a different thing. And then we wonder, should we be doing that thing? And then maybe we let ourselves go down a rabbit hole for a while and we end up nowhere, right? Okay. There I am. Okay. All right. So I don't know the niche of the person who asked the question, but here's the quickest way I have found to make money blogging is to double, triple, quadruple down on a social media platform. So pick one that allows you to interact with your people. So that is not Pinterest, right? You can't interact with people on Pinterest. So double, triple down on a social media platform that allows you to interact with people. So that could be YouTube, right? Because you can interact with them in the comments. That could be Facebook. You can create a group or just go live on your page all the time, right? Depending on your niche, a private group might be preferable because people have a sense of privacy, right? Instagram, TikTok, right? Somewhere that allows you to get on camera. That's the important part. Get on camera in front of your people and connect with them. And it provides them with a spot to interact with you. Hey, Amy, good morning. We're talking about the quickest way I know to make money with a blog. Okay, so double, triple down on your social media platform of choice that allows you to interact with your people and then offer coaching. Coaching is the quickest way I have seen to make money blogging. And if you think that you cannot coach people, well, I'm not going to say you can because I don't know your skill level, but all you need to be in order to help people. This came from the book I told you guys to read last week called Meant for More. She said all you need to help people is to be a little bit further along the path than they are. You don't have to be an expert. The trouble comes in when you're selling yourself as an expert and you're not. If you are honest with people regarding where you are in your journey, that's totally on the up and up, and people will still be interested in what you have to say. In fact, I would argue that some people, myself included, would prefer somebody that is a little bit further down the path than I am than somebody that is so far down the path than I am that they can no longer relate to the season that I'm in my journey anymore, right? Like an expert has been doing this for 50 years. Maybe they can't remember what it's like to be a brand new person in the niche, right? So if you have an inner critic telling you that I can't help people because I'm not an expert yet, that is not true. Just don't sell yourself as an expert, right? That's when it gets hinky. Anyway, that is by far the quickest way I have seen people make money in blogging. And with Calendly, you can pretty much do it for free, right? So if you are I mean, set things up for free, not coach for free. Don't coach for free, guys. If you are going live, offering value to your people, right? And then at the end, if you loved this, you will love private coaching with me or small group coaching with me. Check out my learn more here. Send them to a landing page. You can say book a discovery call, but don't call it a discovery call. Call it something cute. and then send them to your Calendly page. On Calendly, you can have like one type of schedulable, I don't know if that's a word, event for free. It's when you have multiple different events that people can schedule that you have to pay for it. Hey, Rebecca, how are you? Rebecca's crushing it. Let me know if you have any questions. We're talking about how to make money fast. Okay. So, and the reason that works is because you don't have to, like, it works so quickly, is that you do not have to create a product, right? You don't necessarily need like the mass amount of traffic, right? Actually, Rebecca did this. Okay, so Rebecca, I'm talking about how to make money quickly in blogging. And I'm saying, let me know if you agree, that the quickest way is to offer coaching. Amy says, are you charging for the discovery call? Your choice. Your choice. I don't know. That's up to you. I think discovery calls are usually free. But if you feel like, especially if it's a super large, it's really expensive coaching, sure, charge for that, baby. Yeah. So, Rebecca, what social media platform did you double, triple down on? And then that's how you like people found you, and then you offered coaching, right? So she sort of did it backwards. Instead of creating the blog, creating a whole bunch of blog posts, getting traffic, and then offering a product, she did the coaching first, right? You don't have to create a product. Everything you need is already up here, right? um Zoom is free to a certain minute amount. Calendly is free as long as you only have one type of call they can book for you. Yeah, Rebecca says it was Facebook. With the algorithm change, I've switched more to Instagram. Yeah, good to know. And she only has 2 blog posts so far. Yeah, and she's freaking crushing it, you guys. Yeah, this is the quickest way I have seen. And I can tell you, yeah, versus the 144 blog posts and barely any money with my first biz. Yes, right. And this isn't for everybody, but I can tell you that coaching about your niche will help you gain so much clarification about what you want to do within your niche. Like, I can't stress that enough. Coaching one-on-one, coaching in small groups, coaching live like this, like getting on camera and talking about your niche and teaching about things in your niche brings an enormous amount of clarification about what you like to do, what you are good at doing, and what people respond to. Yes, Amy says, yeah, and what everyone is struggling with. That is right. What people respond to. And then, yeah, I think I said last week about the Simply Sexy Headlines course. I had no idea people were struggling that hard with headlines until I started getting on camera and talking about my niche. And it became very clear that people needed some resource around headlines, right? I would not have come up with that if I didn't do that. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so coaching really is the quickest way I have seen to just take a moneyless blog and turn it into and turn it into money really fast, right? Naming my training is so hard. Yeah. If you ever need to name training, let me know. We can drop it in the group and we'll brainstorm it together. One time we did that live, we named somebody's blog. It was a lot of fun. Okay, and then the other thing would be a similar approach. So, and by similar, I mean choosing a social media platform and tripling down on it. And I can go into more what I mean about that in a minute, and then offering a product like a course, an ebook, but you can't charge very much for ebooks, right? So if you do an ebook, and in my opinion, ebooks take a lot of time and effort. Like, it's kind of, I don't know, courses take a lot of time and effort too, but I feel like so do ebooks, and you can't charge as much for them, right? So if you're going to sell something you can't charge that much for, that just means you have to sell more of them for the same amount of money, right? So I don't know if you can make a $97 course versus like a $15 ebook. It's going to be a lot easier to bring in some money. But yeah, so you get, make your thing. You go live on a regular basis. You're helping your people. You're asking them what they need help with on whatever platform you're doubling down on. At the end of the live, it can be a really soft pitch. It does not have to be a sleazy used car salesman like pitch, right? Hey, this was so much fun. I love being here with you today. If you loved it too, you will adore my course on exactly this. You can learn more here, or link in bio, whatever. Yeah. Amy says I do both, but rarely hear results from my ebook sales versus my courses. Yeah, right. I don't know. I know there are people who prefer ebooks, like as a student, prefer ebooks versus courses. I prefer courses because I can listen to them, while I'm cleaning the kitchen or whatever. Yeah, which I do a lot. Like I'm listening to a course while I'm driving to the day job, right? Just, I don't know. I think that's part of why courses are so popular. Yeah, if you can make a course, but of course that takes time, right? So if you are open to the idea of coaching, it's all ready to go. You don't have to make anything. You can make a sales page if you want to, or you can just send people to a Calendly link to go get a discovery call, but don't call it a discovery call. Whatever your niche is, make it something cute and nichey. Like, I don't know, like maybe I don't know. If I was doing it, maybe I would call it like a writer's powwow or something. You know what I mean? Because discovery calls played out and now it kind of has this like spammy, like sliding into your DM type kind of connotation. Okay, and then what I mean by double triple down on a social media platform, show up consistently. So decide when you're going to show up, stick to it, let people know about it if you can. I do see a big increase in attendance when I let people know about things. Speaking of which, I need to let you guys know we're doing a Write with Kelly workshop 3 days next week. I forgot to tell you guys. I'll send out an email about it shortly. Anyway, let people know about it. Like, hey, I'm going to be going live such and such date, right? And then interact with people. If they comment on your stuff, interact with them. If they comment on your stuff and ask questions that you have a lot to say about, take the opportunity to turn that into another live. If going live scares the shit out of you, that's okay. It won't forever. I promise. It gets a lot less scary if you just start doing it all the time. So that's what I did. I took my blog post checklist, which is 25 points, and I did a live stream for every point on the checklist. And I did it for 5 days a week for 5 weeks straight. You do not have to do that. That was a little crazy. But you know what? It also really worked. If I had been selling coaching at that time, I probably, at the time I wasn't selling coaching, but I probably would have been able to sell coaching, right? At the end of my life, like, hey, I'm going to be starting a new coaching thing. Go here, book a call. And your audience doesn't have to be huge for this. That's the thing. Your audience can be really small, especially if it's coaching. Live coaching, you can charge for, right? That is your live time. That is different from a course where you can sell it over and over and over, right? People understand that your live time is not scalable and thus it's going to be more expensive, right? Amy says that's how I found you from that 25-day live thing. That's so interesting. I always wondered how people find me. Yeah, because as of yet, I mean, I don't think Facebook really shows my group to a whole lot of people, but that's okay. I like our Ideal group. Yeah. Yeah, no, a lot of people found me that way. And a lot of people realized that I could help them. right? Because I was going live and providing them with value. I'm not saying you have to give away the whole farm, right? You can provide value without giving everything away. So you can tell them like the what and the why and not necessarily give them the how, or the what and the why and give them a little bit of the how, but the rest of the how is proprietary information they're going to have to pay for in your coaching or your course. We were spill the tea friends. That's how I found you. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Crystal had the tea and I wanted it. That's so funny. I forgot about that. Our origin story. Yeah. Okay. I hope that helps. Really, that is the quickest way. So if you are like, I need to make money or I am going to quit blogging, don't play the SEO game. I teach blog post writing, right? I am all for writing blog posts and getting your long-term SEO game down pat, right? I'm all for that. But if you need to make money right now, SEO is a long game, right? It is a long game. And then furthermore, turning blog post readers into customers, like we talked about last week, it's a different thing when you're trying to convert readers into customers versus watchers into customers. That's apples and oranges. In my opinion, it is much easier to turn watchers, people watching you, into customers, right? You can get to the point where you are a phenomenal copywriter and your conversion rate on page is just as good as your conversion rate on camera, maybe. But in my opinion and my experience, the conversion rate for video is much, much higher. And just a little bit, I don't know, it's just a little bit easier to master. So, and then you get used to talking about your product, right? It's all cyclical. You get used to talking about your product live, and then that will help you write your sales pages and write your sales copy. It's a good thing, okay? Okay, and then as far as focusing, all right, let's talk about focusing, shiny object syndrome, squirrels to chase, burnout. It's all real, right? I wish I was a person who could have lots of focuses during the quarter and successfully execute all of them. That's not how I am. I really need one big focus and then like some cluster little focuses around it that all kind of feed into one goal. Otherwise I just end up spinning and I don't get anything done, right? You guys tell me, does that sound familiar? Amy hates editing. Yeah, I do too. Amy, Narissa is, if Narissa is in this group and she does editing. If you want to hire her, she's good. Okay. Focusing. I'm forgetting to focus on focusing. So, what works for me is putting my blinders on and focusing on one thing. So, if I have a goal to write blog posts that quarter, I am focusing on writing blog posts, and that is it. And when I see a shiny object and I start to chase it, I go, no, Kelly, no, focus. And especially when it's just a quarter, right? And you can even break that down further. Like, okay, I just have to focus on this one blog post for the next 3 days, right? Focus. And then you're constantly realigning yourself to focus. If you are worried about the shiny object, it's kind of like spending money, right? You see a pretty shiny thing, impulse buy at Fred Meyer's, and you want to get it. And you're like, okay, do I really want this? I am going to put this on a shelf in my mind. And if I still want this in a week, I can come back and get it, right? With the shiny objects you see in blogging, write them down somewhere. Keep them in a Google Doc. Like, hey, I see somebody crushing it over on TikTok, but I've double tripled down on Instagram. Maybe I should look into that TikTok thing. Instead of abandoning the mission you've already committed to, write it down somewhere, have a designated spot, and then revisit it. Say, okay, when I am planning my next quarter, I can go revisit my list and see what I still want to do. Focus. Otherwise, nothing will ever get done. Trust me, I've done it. I have done the quarter planning and then I completely go off track. And then nothing gets done because the thing I originally intended to do didn't get done. And then because I just sort of on a whim decided to do this other thing, that doesn't really get done either because the decision wasn't well thought through. You just end up spinning, right? So it's really, really important to focus and just trust that it's okay to focus. So I think a lot of the lack of focus and the shiny object syndrome and the squirrel chasing comes from the fear that we're not doing it right. And you are. You're doing it right. Okay? Just trust that your focus is going to serve you in one way or another. You are going to learn something from focusing. And then not only that, but you are going to be training your brain to sit down and just focus on one thing for an extended period of time. And that will serve you so well in your business. I super promise. Pinky swear. Because if you can never get anything done in your business, I mean, it's just, you're going to go nowhere. That's the bottom line. If nothing gets done, you will not have a business. Yeah. Rebecca says fear and self-sabotage. Don't listen to that voice. Yes. 100%. And it's all over the place in our head, right? I know. I mean, I experience it too. Our inner critic is telling us that we're not good enough, that we don't know what we're talking about, right? And when we have that inner monologue telling us that we don't know what we're talking about and we're an imposter and all that business, it's really easy to look at somebody else and what they're doing and being like, that's what I should be doing, because obviously I don't know what I'm doing. You're going to have like kind of a crazy level of trust in yourself for just a little bit. Or longer than a little bit. I mean, when you think about it, entrepreneurship is a lot of kind of flying in the face of logic, right? And just trusting that you can do it. And it's going to be a lot of reassuring yourself every single day that you can do this. Amy says, LOL, I always do this. It never goes away. Yeah. Well, and you think when I get to this level, it's going to go away. It doesn't. It's still there, right? You think in your head, when I get to this many page views per month or to this level of income per month, these thoughts will go away. That is not how it works. The more you can learn to disassemble these lies, these stories your brain tells you, and proceed confidently in the direction of your dreams anyway, the further you will go in business. Somebody's feeling super called out right now. True story, I hit a huge roadblock this year listening to too many voices. I lost my own. Once I found my lane again, things finally came back together. Yes. And I hear that, and that happens. You guys want to see my magnet? I don't know if it's backwards for you guys, but it says proceed as if success is inevitable. Sorry. I murdered that one. And it sits in front of me in my desk. And then my other thing says, excuse me while I succeed, right? I have all these little reminders up here about how I will succeed. I have succeeded. Right? I have succeeded, but it's like when I actually succeed and when you actually succeed, your version of success changes. And then you tell yourself you haven't succeeded. And yes, okay. So talking about hitting a roadblock, listening to too many voices, losing your own voices. And then once you find your lane, things finally came back together. Yes, I call it losing my blogging mojo. And sometimes it's burnout, which is real and sucks. Sometimes it is listening to too many outside voices, right? Instead of your own, and trusting that you actually know what's best for your business, because you do. You do. Yeah. I mean, it can happen for lots of reasons. You sort of just get out of sorts, right? You're not in sync. And the thing is, when you feel so innately pulled to build a business and be an entrepreneur and build this life for you, when you fall out of sync with it, it feels like a wound. It feels horrible. It does. It's kind of like being in the middle of a breakup or something, right? Where you're like missing this thing, but you're also mad at this thing and you don't even want to look at it or think about it right now, but you miss it because you love it so much and you're kind of feeling like a failure. There's all these emotions going on and you're like, why can't I just get excited about my business the way I used to? What is wrong with me, right? It's horrible. The entrepreneurial cycle just blows my mind. It happens, right? And getting back in realignment with your business is a lot of putting your blinders on, focusing, and shutting out the shiny objects, the squirrels, the FOMO. What is everybody else doing? What should you do for your business? Yeah, build a business you want and love. Yeah, it does feel like that. I know. It's horrible. I hate burnout. Yeah, losing the blogging mojo really hurts. And yeah, as far as building a business you want and love, I know we talked about this a couple lives ago about boundaries, setting boundaries for yourself, right? Boundaries for your energy. So I've been trying to figure out how to temper those huge influxes in energy. Does anybody else do this? So here's what I do. I get really, really excited about my business. I go balls to the wall for, I don't know, 3 to 6 months. Um, and instead of tempering that energy and harnessing it, working normal amounts of hours or not working obsessively, etc., I just go all out. And then I get burnt out for months on end, right? Does anybody else do that? And what I've been trying to figure out is if I can just temper that energy when I'm feeling super lit up about my business and excited, then it can be more sustainable, right? It will be more sustainable. And then, of course, the big question is when we up leveling, perhaps. Yeah. Yeah, up leveling is, yeah, you're right. Yeah. Um, Shucks, I just forgot what I was going to say mid sentence. The big question is when we do. It's gone. I don't know what I was going to say. Yeah, up leveling is really tough. I mean, it's awesome, right? Up leveling is great, but it also is super scary. So by up leveling, we mean like when you're on the precipice of going from one stage of your business to the next stage of your business. It's going to take you to greater heights. You're going to build something even better. You're going to be even more in alignment. You're going to make more money than you ever have. That's awesome. But it's also very scary and it's very uncomfortable, right? It's very uncomfortable. Amy says, but then the burnout and all of that extra time you spent is basically wasted when you spend the next 3 months ignoring everything. That's right. Yeah. So like, how do we temper that enormous excitement so it's not so all or nothing, or even levels of happiness and productivity? Yeah. 100%. Okay, I got off on a little tangent there. Focusing. And the more you practice it, the easier it will become. And the more you practice trusting yourself and your ability to make decisions for your business, the easier it will become. And you guys just pick a decision and go with it. Here's what I see. I see people spinning and just not making decisions for months and months and months on end. And it takes a really long time to build a business when you do that. Consider your options, make a decision, and go with it, and then move on. Like, these decisions are not life or death, they're not worth it, right? And if I know you're afraid, we're all afraid that we're gonna do it wrong, right? You can't do it wrong. If you pick something and it ends up not being exactly what you needed, you'll just pick something else and you will have learned something you will need later on in your business. I promise. Willow says, I need to figure out which site to focus on this quarter and see it through. Yeah. Yeah. The multiple blogs thing is hard. Yeah. And like we are saying, just pick one and focus on it for the whole quarter or the whole year. If you have multiple blogs and you get one to a point where you can pretty much just maintain it, right? Show Google this is still a frequently updated and maintained site, once a month or something. And then work on the other one, building up the other one, right? I'm the queen of spinning. Yeah. Yeah. Get in the habit of making decisions. I'm not saying making rash decisions, right? I'm not saying don't take your time considering your options. Do that, but give yourself a time limit, right? Depending on the decision, maybe take a week. Maybe take a day. Like if you're, hi, Lisa, how are you? If you are deciding which email service provider to use, maybe designate a day and say, I am going to, hi, Kristen, how are you? Designate a day, say, I'm going to look at these 5 options I've heard really great things about. I'm going to do a deep dive into each of them. And then at the end of the day, I'm going to pick one, and that is going to be it. I have switched email service providers twice. And you know what? It wasn't the end of the world. It was not a deal at all. So if you pick one and for whatever reason you have to switch later on down the road, no big. You can do it. Right? Someone told me that indecision is I think that's supposed to be decision, and it blew my mind. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're deciding to be in indecision, and being in the energy of indecision is exhausting. Nothing will zap your creative energy faster than being in the energy of I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do about this. What am I going to do about this? And then it's like just nagging at your brain. Make a decision. You need to hop on this. What are you going to do about this? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Right? That is exhausting. Pick something and move on. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It makes you feel like you're working hard when you're really not. That's right. Because it's exhausting. It's like treading water, right? You're not actually going anywhere, but it's exhausting you. Yeah. Focus, trust yourself, pick something and move on. You can't pick wrong. I mean, I know we think we can pick wrong, but we can't. Somebody says you're either going to get the result or you're going to get the lesson. Who says that? Is it Faith Mariah? Is it James Wedmore? I can't remember. It's not my thought. It's somebody else's thought. They say you're either going to get the result or you're going to get the lesson, right? So you're either going to get the result that you're looking for or you are going to get the lesson that you need in order to build your business. Both of them. Okay, they both say it. Yeah. I mean, you can't do it wrong. And the more you get in the practice of just trusting yourself, the easier it will be to build your business. And I don't think the inner critic ever really goes away. I think we just get better at ignoring it and doing the damn thing anyway. I do. Or not necessarily ignoring it. I mean, we acknowledge that it's there, right? ignoring it's not the right word, but just doing the damn thing anyway, right? I don't know. I mean, for me, the inner critic never goes away, but I also don't agonize over details that I did at the beginning of my journey, like at all. Like things I spent weeks worrying about, I would never ever let the inner critic have the microphone that long anymore, right? And that's because I practiced training my brain, being like, okay, inner critic, I see you, but I'm going to go ahead and do the damn thing anyway. Yeah, taming her. That's right. Or it, or whatever. Trusting myself is what I'm working on. Yeah. When you can trust yourself, you will be able to build a business a lot faster. You think about, I've been listening to this podcast called Land of the Giants, and it is about big business, right? It's about each season they do one business. So they did Google, they did Netflix, and they did Uber Eats and Grubhub. And what is so interesting to me is the audacity of the CEOs, the balls on these people. Do you think Jeff Bezos, oh yeah, they did Amazon. Do you think Jeff Bezos is agonizing over what email service provider to use to send his marketing emails? Nope. They have blind, unwavering, kind of psychotic trust in themselves. That's what we need to build in ourselves. Crazy trust in ourselves, right? Lisa says, going live in my group weekly is hard for me because don't trust my knowledge enough, but I'm always going live in 30 minutes anyway. Oh, you're going live in 30 minutes today? Yay! I love it. Yeah, do it anyway. Yeah. And the more that you trust that it will come, like what you need to say will come, the easier it will be. 100%. And not every live is amazing. Sometimes I get off of lives and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't so amazing. Like you're not going to hit a home run every time, and that's okay. It's like writing, right? You write, in order to become a good writer, you write tons and tons and tons and tons and tons, because most of it's going to be kind of meh. And then you're going to cull out the meh and you're going to be left with good stuff, right? Yeah. I used to live 90% in the inner critic bully. Now it's only 10%. So she's still there, but much, much less. Yes, 100%. Yeah. I called the chatterbox and I taped it shut in my mind and squished it. It's kind of a cardboard box. That's funny. That's awesome, Lisa. I'm glad you're going live soon. Good. She's doing it anyway, right? She's doing it anyway. I love that. Good for you. Yeah. Just think when you guys are experiencing extreme inner criticism, ask yourself, what would Jeff Bezos do? One of the most audacious, blindly, psychotically trusting in himself type kind of entrepreneurs out there. What would Steve Jobs do? Would Steve Jobs be giving himself shit over this? And if the answer is no, then move on, because y'all are going to be Steve Jobs level WWJBD. Yes. You guys are all going to be blogging emperors and emperesses. Are those words? Willow says, I know it's not fear and it's not trusting myself. My inner critic doesn't show up here. It's that I'm bursting with so many ideas. That's 100% true about you. You are the idea queen. I just don't have the time to face it all right now. My problem comes down to time blindness. Yes. It's hard to see that there is more time than I feel like I have. I have decades in front of me. I don't have to do all of it right now. 100%. I love that. Yes, you don't have to do it all right now. Put it on your Google Doc. If you still want to do it at the beginning of next quarter, you can plan it into your quarter plan. Oh, yeah, there is a Jeffrey Bezos song. I'm going to have to listen to that. Did you guys watch that Bo Burnham special? That was I mean, the songs are all over TikTok now, but the special was definitely special. It was entertaining. I don't know if I'd ever watch it again, but there were actually some really good, catchy songs on there. You get them stuck in your head. Yeah. So I don't know. Pick out your favorite. And I'm not saying that I like idolize these people, right? They are flawed. These CEOs are flawed in their own rights and make questionable decisions, of course. Find a CEO that you can ask yourself that you see making these big bold moves, these big ball moves, right? And find one that you feel comfortable asking yourself, what would this person do? Would this person be worried about this? No. Like no, they would, yeah, they're total egomaniacs 100%. Yeah, if we could just borrow a little bit of that egomania, like imagine how much further we could go in our business. We don't have to be egomaniacs. Maybe we could the Spanx lady is a good one. Yes. Yeah, maybe we can borrow 1% of that egomania just to hype ourselves up enough to stop worrying about what email service provider we're going to use. The podcast is Land of the Giants. It is fascinating. It is so fascinating, and it will have you questioning the way you interact with Amazon, the way you interact with Netflix, the way you interact with Grubhub. It will have you questioning a lot of big commerce in your daily life, I promise. But of course, we just use it anyway. Yeah, Amazon is a monopoly and 100% should be broken up. I'm going to say it. I'm on the record. I'm going to say it. And I think it would be better. Like, I think it would be better for them and us. Anyway, that's just me. Y'all listen. Let me know what you think. I'd love to chat with you about it. Yeah, Land of the Giants. I do, but at the same time that it's like, wow, kind of scary that these big, massive companies have this much power over our daily lives. From an entrepreneurial stance, it is super fascinating. Like, I cannot help but kind of be in awe of these kind of terrible people. And just the balls they have, and they just go do it, right? Like, man, I just want 1% of that egomania. And now Kelly goes missing. Yeah, don't come for me, Jeff Bezos. Don't do it. That's awesome. Yeah, they're listening. Anyway, Sarah Blakely, is that the Spanx lady? Yeah. Okay, Sarah Blakely. Okay, let's look into her. I would love it if we could find a female egomaniac to question our inner critic with. That'd be great. Okay. Wow, that took an unexpected turn, but here we are. I hope that helps you guys. Okay, let's recap real quick. The quickest way to make money with your blog is to double, triple down on a social media platform where you can go live and interact with your people and sell coaching. That is the quickest way I've seen. Next up would be to do the same thing, but sell something. But then you have to create it, right? So that takes a little bit more time. And if you're thinking that you can't coach, you probably can. I haven't met somebody, I mean, generally, if you're blogging about something, you are further along down the path than your readers are, right? So most people have something to offer in coaching. And then like the other option is like organic traffic, right? Which takes a long time. And even Pinterest traffic takes a long time now. So if you need to make money now, you might have to do something else first. If you don't necessarily need to make money for 6 months or a year, go the SEO route, right? Why not? All right, friends, this was a blasty blast. That came from James Wedmore. I know exactly who that came from. This was a blasty blast. I love you guys. If you need anything from me, let me know in the group. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your week. Bye.